Lucas Oil Stadium.
Right.
Right there. Over there.
The convention center. Over there.
Downtown Indy over there.
Yeah, everything is
And our
here.
hotel's not far where I wiped out on a scooter over there.
Over there.
Yeah.
So bigger picture, they need a lot of guys on defense
Yeah.
for this team. They may need a guy, maybe two out of the draft or out of free agency to help Josh Allen take what was a really good offense and make it one that is really tough to stop in big moments.
Spent a lot of time traveling today. I'm obsessed with the player.
Okay.
The more I think about Chris Godwin,
Yeah.
the more I like the idea of Chris Godwin coming to Buffalo.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel presented by Connors and Ferris. Mike Catalano along with Dan Fates. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And share.
We're at the Mecca.
This is it.
We love it
here. We're
here.
at the home of Elmo's Steakhouse. This is the most important place in the NFL universe for the next week. So, of course, Buffalo Plus had to be here.
I do want to keep something in mind, at least for reporters, right? When the NFL announced that the Combine was coming back for a few more years in Indy, there was cheers.
Yes.
They love it here. You'd think, oh, don't you want to go to L.A.? Don't you want to go?
No.
No. At this time of the year, everybody likes the way it is because it is a relatively small city.
Yeah. Lucas Oil Stadium.
Right.
Right there. Over there.
The convention center. Over there.
Downtown Indy over there.
Yeah, everything is
And our
here.
hotel's not far where I wiped out on a scooter over there.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right in this spot. So that I do think that makes it work for this event.
It really does.
Because like we always talk about, yes, at home, people will say, oh, I watched the Combine. I see the guys running sprints and I see the quarterbacks. And that's cool. And they'll show all that on television. But for the teams, that's a very small part of why they're here.
And we're also seeing more and more players elect not to participate in these kind of drills and throwing sessions and things like that. We've seen that more over the years. That will continue once again. We've talked about it before on this channel and our previous videos. If you go back, like it is much more about that interview portion with teams. It's meeting the players, getting to know more about them, those kind of things, getting them in the whiteboard.
Yeah.
And even I would say the top 30 visits where you get to bring the players into your facility are more important, but this is where everybody is. And Mike, this is also the illegal tampering period before the legal tampering period before the start of free agency.
Yeah, look, the agents are here. The general managers are here. Now, they all are busy. They all have stuff going on, but there are conversations. And look, I'm not saying teams cheat. They don't outwardly go, this is what we're going to offer for this guy. They can't do that. That's how you lose draft picks. That's how you get in trouble. But there are general conversations about your guy. Now, they can have talks about the Bills' current free agents.
Absolutely.
Like Mac Hollins, right? You know, or what they're going to do with Rasul Douglas or all the players that are under contract. Even a guy like James Cook, right?
Yep.
The agents are around. I think there is conversations that go on. It's about players on other teams.
Yeah.
You can't be talking about. So while we'd love to say to Brandon Beane when we talked to him on Tuesday, hey, Myles Garrett, how would you like him on your team? He's not allowed to talk about Myles Garrett publicly.
He'll be asked about it.
But he's not allowed to talk about the player.
Correct.
He can talk about them looking to make moves.
Yes.
He cannot say, man, that Myles Garrett would look great in a Bills uniform.
We're going to go all in. He's the player. Yeah, I don't expect that to happen. What I am interested in talking to, we will talk to Sean McDermott tomorrow. On Monday, he's scheduled to meet Big Media Scrum at 2 o'clock. Then we will also have one-on-ones with him as well. Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott both said that the last time we talked to them at the end of your press conference, it was the loss in the AFC Championship game was too raw. It was too fresh to evaluate everything. Sean McDermott had basic things about what didn't work well in the game, but now we're switching to big picture. It is no longer time to look back. It is time to start building forward, and this is when it starts to be Brandon Beane's season. And Mike, the one thing that Beane said, was that your last loss tells a lot about your team.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be an interesting component to now, once you're removed from the emotion, the sting of the loss, learning from that game and what it says about the Bills.
Yeah, because that conversation was really just a few days after the loss in Kansas City when they could have been going to the Super Bowl. And look, when you look at the way the Bills lost that last game, I do think it's a microcosm of the team in a sense of saying the defense wasn't good enough, and then the offense maybe didn't have that dude that they need to help Josh Allen in those moments. He got let down a little bit at the end of that game with a chance to
Yeah.
maybe tie or win the game. Certainly the defense wasn't good enough, and the defense made a few stops, but in general, they know this defense isn't good enough. So bigger picture, they need a lot of guys on defense
Yeah.
for this team. They may need a guy, maybe two out of the draft or out of free agency to help Josh Allen take what was a really good offense and make it one that is really tough to stop in big moments.
Spent a lot of time traveling today. I'm obsessed with the player.
Okay.
The more I think about Chris Godwin,
Yeah.
the more I like the idea of Chris Godwin coming to Buffalo.
You know, you've seen Evans and Godwin in Tampa, and they made plays with everybody. They made them certainly with Brady. They made them with Baker. They both had injuries.
Yep.
And look, I'd love Mike Evans. He ain't coming.
Correct.
That's not happening.
Nope.
But Godwin is a free agent. He's only 28.
He's 28. He's coming off that brutal dislocated ankle. He
Yeah.
tore his ACL. So he is 28. He does have 2 major surgeries on his resume. But he is tough in the running game. He brings a physicality to run blocking and all of those kind of things. He seemingly seems to fit the mold.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I would love it. I know there's all the hype about retooling the defensive line, and I get that, and that needs to be addressed. But you're also hoping that maybe Dwayne Carter takes a step forward and other guys too. That's going to be another interesting thing as you go through these next few months. Teams will always be, not always, be complimentary of their guys, right?
Right.
But when they put their money where their mouth is,
Mm-hmm.
and if they make a big move and they add 3, 4, 5 guys to the defensive line, maybe they don't think so highly of Dwayne Carter. Now, if they stay put, maybe that says more that, hey, we do think that he showed flashes.
Right.
And the wrist injury did hamper him. And maybe that's why he was inactive in the playoffs. Things like that. So I always say, like, Spencer Brown, the fact that they didn't draft a right tackle last year spoke volumes that his back really was bothering him 2 years ago. And that's where you kind of put the money where your mouth is, and that's what really talks is the cash. So Chris Godwin, again, I still look back, and I still think we're still in this wide receiver
Yeah.
dilemma of who are going to be the guys to throw to Josh Allen. Now, look, Josh has proven that he can make it work and have an MVP caliber season with a hodgepodge of guys and everybody eating. Still need some dudes.
Yeah.
And Chris Godwin, I think, is one of the key guys out there. I think it's a low probability. I know he still wants to they reworked some contracts I was reading that they can start negotiating with Tampa sooner.
Yep.
As he reworked some of his opt-outs or the negotiation time that he can start. So I think it's a long shot, but I think he'd be another dude. And I know some people, I tweeted about it today, and people are like, well, Khalil Shakir is in the slot. Why do you do that? You need dudes. You need
Yeah.
playmakers. And Chris Godwin is a damn good playmaker.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we got to get away from that a little bit. What the Bills really do need is they need a guy who can play on the outside
Yeah.
and do it often. And maybe they look for that in the draft. Maybe it's in free agency. The one thing we're trying to, make you aware of is it comes up fast.
Yep.
Like, that's why I say the focus of this in the big picture is the draft. But the draft isn't for another, what?
2 months?
Almost, yes, 2 months.
Yeah.
Almost like 8 weeks. Free agency comes up fast. It's the second week in March, and they are ready to go. And that means making decisions on their own players. Now, the one thing we will get a chance to talk to these guys about, I think, is a little bit about their feelings about the guys they have, whether free agents
Yep.
or in that last year. And
Yep.
that is a big group. You guys all know about it.
We've talked,
James
yeah.
Cook, Terrell Bernard, Christian
Benford, Khalil.
Shakir. Rousseau's on that 5th-year option,
Yep.
so maybe that's not as pertinent as some of the other ones unless they were going to do something else. So those are the kind of things they can talk about because all those decisions got to be made
Correct.
before you start going fishing for other players.
Yeah.
So this is just stuff that, is going to come up fast. That's why it's a draft thing, but it's really the start of free agency.
Yeah, so again, we're going to talk to McDermott tomorrow. We're going to have videos that'll follow with those. So drop questions in the comments
Yeah.
about what you maybe want us to answer, ask, things like that, and we'll have videos Monday, Tuesday. We're going to meet up with all of the people that are also here because everybody's here. We will meet up with a lot of them and get some more draft perspective insight. That's another cool thing.
Yeah.
Scheduled to meet with Emery Hunt, hopefully Matt Miller as well, and get some more perspective on some of these players because now we're going to start. We are narrowing in on mock draft season when everybody's going to have their guys and get a little bit more knowledge on them.
So there's a combination of things. That we'll talk with some people who cover some of the teams in the division.
Yep.
Big upheaval, obviously, with the Jets. New England, near the top of the draft.
Yep.
They got a lot of money to spend.
But not at the top.
Yes, yes. And the Miami Dolphins, who are always in play because they're the Miami Dolphins. So a lot that we will be taking care of, and we will have coverage for you during the week.
And Elmo's tomorrow.
Yes. Yes, we are going to Elmo's.
Yeah.
And we are not going there for breakfast. It's
No.
just dinner, and it's only once.
Yeah, and Jenna, we were texting on the flight, a little jealous.
FOMO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's only jealous because of Elmo's.
Yeah, she's not jealous of
She is not a fan. She's done the combine. She's not a fan of it.
No.
She's jealous of Elmo's.
Yeah. So we'll.
Because foodies respect food.
That's it. We'll have a shrimp cocktail for her.
That's it.
That's what we'll do. All right, that's going to do it for us. For now, we will have a video up on Monday from our conversation with Sean McDermott, on Tuesday with Brandon Beane.
One-on-ones, so
and
it'll be cool.
plenty of content. For Dan Fates, I'm Mike Catalana. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we will see you the next time on Buffalo Plus, presented by Connors and Ferris.